Welcome to the Franchise Woman Podcast, where passion and purpose collide, profits are made, and relationships forged. I'm Rebecca Monet, CEO and Chief Scientist at Zoracle Profiles, along with my co-host, community advocate, speaker, author, and entrepreneur, Tracy Kawa. So we have a very special guest with us today. Our special guest is Toni Harris Taylor. So Toni is an award-winning franchise owner of Network in Action Global Partners. NIA Global Partners is an international community of business owners who come together to mastermind to grow their business, bring each other warm referrals, and be a supportive community for one another. Toni lives by the mantra of being drastic. In her business, Drastic Results Marketing and Sales Coaching, she helps her clients learn the strategies to get known, get connected, get paid to make six figures and beyond. Toni is an intercontinental speaker, 11 times author, and most recently, her collaboration project, Purpose, People, and Profits and Wealth Building Through Franchising, achieved Amazon International best-selling status in sales and marketing categories. Toni is also a videocast talk show host, a philanthropist, and has won several awards for her work, including NIA's first Rookie of the Year in 2019, Brand Ambassador in 2021, and Community Service in 2022. Toni was awarded the 2022 Power Networker of the Year award by Dr. George C. Fraser, proving once again that Toni knows a whole lot about networking. So, Toni, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Rebecca and Tracy. I'm super excited to be here. We are going to have a good time. I just want to quickly say I'm grateful. I got to meet you in person last week, Rebecca, and it really was the highlight of the conference, the way we connected and realized we already knew each other through social media. I just am excited to be here. So thank you.
Very, very cool. Okay, that was an amazing intro. So, and of course, I want to know, and I'm sure Rebecca wants to know what drastic is, but before we even go there, tell us about your entry into franchise. Where, when, how?
Yeah, my franchise entry is a drastic story. In fact, my brand is about being drastic because let's face it, being an entrepreneur is drastic, right? And so it seems that things just, well, my saying is show up, be up, follow up to blow up. So let me tell you, I'm an accidental franchisee. I did not know that there was franchising outside of chicken, burgers, Subway, and storefronts. I didn't know there were part-time home-based franchises out there. And I have a very interesting story, so I'll tell the short version. Drastic Results Marketing and Sales Coaching is my primary business. I've been a marketing and sales coach for small businesses since 2013. But in 2019, I took a look at my business, and I had tried in the past to figure out how to scale the business. And I just couldn't figure it out because drastic and my principles belong to me. And I was like, nobody's going to buy this. And so I stopped marketing myself as a coach, and my husband started singing the Get a Job song. I hate that song. And so, but I didn't know what else to do. So I started interviewing for jobs. I didn't want a job, but I was just stuck. And while I'm waiting for 2 six-figure job offers to come through, I talked to a friend of mine who's a who's a money mindset coach. And she asked me what my why was. And so I told her, and she said, Toni, you've already accomplished that. You need a new why. Perhaps you need a why that will motivate you to want to stay in business. Okay, I'll play along. Go create a new why, come back and tell me what it is. And so while I was praying about it, brainstorming what I wanted to, what I didn't want to do, I thought about Zig Ziglar, my friend Zig Ziglar. Is he y'all's friend too?
I love Zig Ziglar. I love him when he was speaking in person. I still can hear his voice in my head. Brilliant man.
He was brilliant. And he said, y'all know this quote if you're a fan, you can have everything in life you want if you help enough people get what they want. It's on my wall right in front of me. That was it. I wanted to help people to get what they wanted. So I went back to Carol, my friend. I said, my why is to touch, move, and inspire my clients to take drastic steps to get drastic results so that they can be better than they were before they met me. I'm a resource. I'm a connector. I want to help people build deeper relationships that are beneficial to their life and business. She said, Toni, that's perfect. What would you need to do to get paid to connect people? I said, I think I would need to start my own networking group. She said, well, why don't you? I said, absolutely not. No way. Watch this. I don't have technology. I don't know what to charge. I don't know how to run a meeting. I don't want to start from scratch. No, ma'am. Thanks, but no thanks. I'm off of Zoom. Goodbye. And I was done with that conversation. But God knew more. The following week, I got a call from a lady I had met 3 months earlier. Toni, this is Helen with Network in Action. I hope you remember me. I still think you should be a Network in Action franchise owner. Franchise? How much is that again? I don't have $40,000, lady, and I'm waiting for 2 job offers. No, thank you. Toni, please don't take a job before you meet Scott, the franchisor. Tell him I have 2 job offers and I don't have $40,000. And if he still wants to meet with me, I'll meet with him. He met me, instant connection, brother from another mother. And watch this. Everything I said I did not have, the franchise had in it, even a 6-figure networking business model. Sir, I love what you have, but I don't have $40,000. I want the franchisors who are listening to hear this part. He said, how much do you have? I don't want to insult you, sir. I don't have $40,000. How much do you have? 3. He said, I'll take it. I believe in you. I believe that you can do this. I'll finance you. Handshake note. Let's go. I'm his fastest launching franchisee. I am, as you read, Rookie of the Year, Brand Ambassador, Community Service, made 6 figures over the pandemic, which came 6 months later. And now I'm a multi-unit franchisee because I have 7 leaders around the country, and I'm growing to 24 leaders who are building groups under me. And they believe in connecting people and helping people stay. So now I have that scalable, saleable business. And because I'm such a connector, ladies, I actually paid off my note by referring more franchisees. And so it was a win-win for him and for me.
Wow, I am loving this story. Especially the beginning of it, which was this idea that Helen suggested you needed another why. You'd already accomplished your original why. And so you had to refocus and kind of quantify what your next why was. You didn't know how to make it happen. You didn't think you had the resources to do so, but by articulating it, probably even writing it out, God opened doors, basically, is what happened, right? I love that story. It gives me chills just to think about it and how the ducks all kind of lined up once you determined what that why was. Makes me wonder, in your day-to-day life and the folks that you're working with, how many folks are in similar situations where they've had successful careers and they haven't considered another why?
Yeah, thank you for asking that. That was the reason, the impetus for the Purpose, People, and Profits book. My mom is my editor, and she said to me, shouldn't it be people, purpose, and profits? And I said to her, you've got to know your purpose before the people who can help you show up.
Mm-hmm.
And all the time, entrepreneurs are always second guessing. What am I doing? Why am I doing it? Should I make a change? And whenever my clients come to me with those questions, my first question to them now is, why are you doing it? What's your why? And many times, Rebecca and Tracy, their why is self-serving. My why. When I told Carol, the coach, what my why was, it was very about me.
Mm-hmm.
And what I recognized is my why being that it was about me and, my family and wanting to retire and whatever my why was, it was so self-serving, it wasn't motivating. And then when I turned my purpose into being about other people, my clients, the people I had not even met yet, it's amazing. I had my conference at the beginning of the year and I told this story on stage, and I had the people who stand up who met me after 2019. And it was 3/4 of the room. And I said, what if I had quit?
Wow.
What if I had quit?
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't even know you people today.
Yeah.
And so I always look at my clients and people, what's your purpose? Why are you even doing this? And it can't be about you, because you'll let yourself off the hook if it's about getting debt free or sending my kids to college. You'll figure out another way to do that stuff. Your purpose has to be about the people you serve, because that's what will motivate you to keep going.
Wow. 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 Toni, what are some examples of some of your, I guess, I don't know what you call them, the people that sign under you? What are some, what do you call them?
The leaders, my leaders.
So your leaders. So what are some of their whys? What are the different ranges, right? Because I think that a lot of our listeners, I mean, everyone has a why. We all have a why. The people listening have a why, but they may not really understand how to dig to it, how to get it out. So what are some examples of those driving whys that really resonate?
So I always ask my leaders when we're interviewing, what's your why? What's your purpose? And a lot of times they have never thought about it. So it always comes out about their family.
Okay.
Right? I want to retire. I want my kids to be, create generational wealth or whatever. And then I always ask them to dig deeper. Why are one of my members or one of my leaders is a financial advisor? Y'all are a dime a dozen. Why do we need one more financial advisor in the world? So what is your purpose? And when I have them go back and rework it, one of my financial advisors that's a member said, I want to teach, because his story is when he went to the college admissions office and they were asking them about money, and he didn't have a 401k or IRA or any of those other letters. He said, I want to make sure future parents and their children benefit from understanding how to build wealth early. And he says something profound. He said, my why is for the people who aren't born yet.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah, it's about legacy. At certain times, it becomes about a legacy, things that are going to change or benefit long before we are still walking on this earth, right?
Yeah. Yeah. When I leave here, I want my clients, the people who cross my path, whether they ever became clients or not, but I want them to say, I got drastic because I met Toni Harris Taylor.
So
I didn't play small anymore.
Yeah.
I got out of my comfort zone and showed up. And when I showed up, I met somebody that changed the trajectory of my life. That's the legacy I want to help leave.
I think that there's a hand in glove with that too, because if I have a strong enough why, and that why is connected to others, which goes back to the Zig Ziglar idea, if the why is big enough, I'm willing to take drastic action to get there. I'm willing to have drastic changes in my mindset, right?
Absolutely. And so when I'm speaking, when I am training and coaching people, in order to reach those generations, you got to get drastic today and show up so that you can meet someone that can help you to fulfill that goal. And, I decided after 4 years in franchising, again, I didn't recognize that it was a lot of industries, small business owners. I always thought it was brick and mortar. And now my purpose is to help franchisors to teach their franchisees how to get themselves out there, how to show up, what to do. Don't just tell them to go to a chamber meeting. You got to give them the skills to do it. Otherwise, marketing is not what they signed up for. They didn't sign up to market unless you're a marketing company.
Yeah.
So they have to be taught how to do it. And that's drastic for them. But when they do it, then they'll be able to create the legacy, serve the people they're meant to serve. And so that's the message I'm spreading around the world.
I love that because I think it goes back to what you said about, entrepreneurs. Being an entrepreneur is drastic, but we don't realize that we have to wear all the different hats. And to your point, I agree with you about, most people get into a business because they have various reasons and they choose whichever business they choose. But to your point, I'm sorry, this mosquito is just flying around my face. But to your point,
I want to know where you are. I'm just curious. Where are you?
Florida, but these mosquitoes came out of nowhere and just completely distracted me. So to your point,
in Florida.
Just lost my whole. To your point, okay,
That's okay.
Okay. So we're talking about they didn't sign up for marketing.
They didn't sign up for marketing. To your point, entrepreneurs have to wear every single hat.
Yes.
Every single hat.
Yes.
So how do you get them to come out of that shell, to embrace all of the different roles that they have to step into?
So here's my answer. Go make some money so you can pay people to wear other hats.
Yes.
Bottom line, you can't wear all the hats. You're not wearing them all well. And so learn how to market and sell, and you can buy everything else.
Perfect. Perfect.
That is such great advice, because the bottom line, again, this is a Zig Ziglar thing. Nothing happens until a sale goes down, right? Meaning all those other. So we do need to, as entrepreneurs, as franchisees, focus on the marketing and focus on the sales. Doing well in those areas solves the problem in the other areas.
Absolutely. As long as you can make money, you can pay people to do everything else. And so people also ask me, well, can't I hire somebody to market for me? And the big mistake I see in entrepreneurship, period, but especially in franchising, is they're too reliant on digital marketing. And I think digital marketing is important, but that just creates brand awareness. It's the relationships that get people to spend money with you. When they know you as the brand, they know you, like you, and trust you, they will do business with you, not the overarching brand. I mean, that's important. But I will tell you that people drive, when I first bought my franchise, it was all local geography to my house, right? Until the pandemic. And people in Houston, sprawling, I live in Houston, people would drive an hour away to come to my group because they knew me, liked me, trusted me.
Wow. Yeah.
And so when you build know, like, and trust, people will buy from you. You won't struggle as much. Not that, you're going to have struggles, but if you know how to sell, and you got to fish for yourself before you can hire anybody to fish for you. So, yeah, I think, and my goal is to help franchisees through their franchisors to learn this marketing part. And the other thing is and I could be wrong because I just got here, but I think most franchisees came from corporate.
Yes.
As they were in corporate sales, they don't know what I'm talking about, and they struggle. And then because the franchisor wants to sell the franchise, they tell them we're going to help you with the marketing. They don't say, you got to go do your own marketing. And all the person hears is they got the marketing. And that's not true.
I can confirm that. I just had a meeting earlier today with a franchisor that we're onboarding to use the Zoracle tool. And that onboarding is a 90-minute meeting with leadership. And the leadership was talking about the number one challenge they have is they have franchisees that don't know how to network, don't know how to market, don't know how to sell. They are what we call either skinners or tanners. They're not hunters, right? They're not folks that go out. And the franchisor was talking about not only is that detrimental to the franchisee, that they're not building those relationships in the community and a reputation, but it's expensive for the franchisor because now the franchisor is trying to compensate by having call centers and spending more money on regional and local marketing. And all they're creating is dependency rather than strong entrepreneurs that know how to hunt, that know how to build a business. So I want to validate what you're saying, that this is a must-have for every business, is to learn how to network, learn how to market, learn how to be out in that community. So, which brings me to the question, how does someone do that?
Yeah. So the formula is show up, be up, follow up, and their business will blow up. So let's start with the show up. First thing we have to do is know who our target market is. We have to know where they are. We have to know what to say. What is their pain? What do you add? How do you add value to them so that they'll want to work with you? And then where are they? They may or may not be at a chamber meeting. You might need to find the association that caters directly to your target market. Build a relationship with the leadership. I also teach my clients how to use speaking. I don't care what you sell. You can use speaking, free speaking in front of audiences to get leads. Well, heck, I spoke for 10 minutes at the FBR Summit last week. 10 minutes. And immediately somebody said, come speak at my conference in February. Okay. So showing up is getting out from behind the computer. You can't just work in your business. You got to work on your business. You got to be where the target market is. You got to build relationships with the target market. You got to learn to give before you receive. But if you don't have nothing to give because you're stuck behind the computer or in the brick and mortar, you don't have a network to give or share with someone else, then you don't have any value to your network. So part of what I teach is go network for your network.
Mm.
Have a place you can invite people to that you met so you can forge a deeper connection. And then the B up is when you get to these events, don't be on your phone. And listen, I know this and I'm guilty because I'm just addicted to the stupid cell phone.
Mhm.
But don't be on your phone. Engage with people, listen. And if you can help them in the moment, oh, I know somebody you need to meet. I'm going to send a text right now. Again, if you don't have a network, how are you going to help them? And then the number one thing I teach, book appointments on the spot.
Mhm.
Do not leave the event with a purse or pocket full of business cards that you're not going to follow up on. They're not going to follow up with you, and nothing happens. So I teach how to ask for a date. Every relationship starts with a first date. And so as business owners, we have to build in the time to do that. But it's so valuable. That's how you build know, like, and trust.
Mhm.
And then follow up. Oh, Lord. Follow up, follow up, follow up. Everybody drops the ball on follow up. I'm a master at follow up and I drop the ball on follow up. So you have to have systems, strategies. How do you follow up? I know that there's a ton of franchisees out there that don't like social media. Get over it. It's not leaving. Learn how to use it. Use it for networking. That's how we got here.
That's
So
exactly how we got here.
how we really got here is I saw your interview with Leanne.
Mhm.
And then I'm drastic. And this is what I teach my clients, pay attention. So I love these interviews. And so when I saw Leanne, I made a great comment. And then I messaged the two of you.
Mhm.
Hey, I see all your great podcasts. I'd like to be a guest. I know podcasts or video casts, people are always looking for guests. I'm doing you a favor. So those are some of the strategies that I teach. And then when you do those things, people will be more apt to send you referrals. They'll connect you. They'll take you with them wherever they go. And you will get more connections, collaborations, and ultimately clients. And you'll have more fun in your business too. When you learn the strategies, it's fun. It doesn't feel like work. And I know people say, well, you're a natural networker. I'm not. I had to pay a coach to teach me how to network.
Wow.
I'm an I on the DISC scale. Yes, I am. I'm relationship driven naturally, but I still had to pay somebody to teach me how to network. So it's a skill that's learned. And don't, please, anybody listening, if you're struggling in this area, let's talk. Not just me, find somebody. But too many businesses still fail. And it's mainly because they don't know how to market and sell. Because to Tracy's point, I can buy anything and anybody I need to.
Mhm.
I know how to market and sell myself.
I have to tell you, Toni, I have never heard anybody say to book an appointment on the spot. And what I love the fact that you have so many different tools and you use them. Like there's the digital and then there's the grassroots marketing. So speak to the different arsenal of tools that you have and how you know when to use each one.
Yeah, each tool has its place. But with no exception, Tracy, they have to book appointments on the spot.
That's
Everything
great.
else, everything else we'll figure out where it fits in. Is LinkedIn your place? Is Facebook your place? But you have to book. And I teach virtual networking as well, because some people, if you can't get out, then find the virtual groups and at least connect with people. But I leave every virtual meeting with appointments. So yeah, the tools depend on their business and who they're trying to reach and what they're trying to accomplish. But without a doubt, never leave another meeting again without booking a date.
Amazing.
Yeah,
And it's drastic to ask for a date, by the way. People
it
do.
is drastic. You
They
did it.
look at you with two heads like,
You
okay.
you did it to me at the FBR summit last week instantly. Even though we were already scheduled to have you on the show, you still said, let's set up a meeting so we can get to know each other. So I really appreciate that. So you mentioned this idea of creating a network where people can get together. I mean, when I think networking, I think, like you said, the chamber, or we go to a franchise conference and we're networking there. But when you're talking networking, is it for other purposes too? People who love to play pickleball get together?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if you find people who have some synergy, y'all like to do the same things, by all means, that's still networking. So some of my best networking is social, right? We ladies' night out, we go to an event together. So absolutely. And another thing that I teach my clients is a table for 10. A table for 10 is 10 people who have some synergy. You're the center, you become the center of influence, and then you invite 10 people who need to know each other. And you always ask, what are you working on? How can we help? What are you working on? How can we help? And people will tell you. But if you don't have a network to introduce them to, you can't help them. So start by building that network so that you can build those connections in a more social way as well.
That is so great. I have to tell you, I'm dying to know, do you have any standout, drastic success stories that you can share with us? You don't have to name names.
Oh, I love naming names, and my clients already know. I have so many. I'll use a franchisee that's a part of my NIA. His name is Barry. Shout out to Barry with Motto Mortgage. Barry was almost at the end of his rope before he joined NIA. And he said to me one day, he said, I want to make sure I'm not speaking out of turn, but I believe that if it had not been for me joining your group, I would be out of business today.
Wow.
And it's because someone else in the group gave him a big referral. And, he was like, I was just about to drown. So I have so many success stories, Tracy, and they are global. I spoke in Kenya this year, all through networking. I'm speaking in Toronto next week with a friend of mine who I met on Facebook just because I was paying attention to her post. And she had her picture on the side of a bus. And I was like, who is this lady? And I had the courage to invite her to a Zoom one-to-one. That was in 2018. She's like, what the heck is Zoom? And that's hilarious now because we Zoom all the time. But because I was paying attention, and my posture is always, let's hop on a Zoom call, learn about each other. Let me see who I can help, how I can help you. And when I have that posture, who's going to say no to that?
Mm-mm.
I'm going to learn more about you so I can help you. Even if I can't help them, nobody's going to say no to that. So that's how you ask for a date. So yeah, I have a ton of success stories. And when you go to my website, I have it in the bottom there, franchise.drasticresults.com. There's lots of success stories there.
Awesome.
The stories always hit home. There's a few things you've said I'm actually embarrassed to say I'm terrible at, and I am now committed to get better at. So I'm so glad you brought these things up, Toni. So I have kind of an off the wall question for you. And this stems from a lot of this is about personal responsibility. It's the get up, do what you need to do. So the why within us will drive us there.
Yes.
And so the next thought to me is, what would prevent someone from doing something they know could grow their business? Is it fear? Is it laziness? Is it rejection? What is it that would drive someone to not do this?
I hear people say all the time, but I'm an introvert.
Blah, blah, blah.
Gosh. And I've started to believe I'm more of an ambivert. There's times I'm down and I don't want to do it either. And here's what I say to them, Rebecca. It is fear. And it's the fear of rejection and it's being uncomfortable. But if you're making it about you, then yeah, you got to not make it about you. When I go networking, I'm there to serve the people I meet. I'm there to serve my network. And will I get from it? Absolutely. But if I go with the posture of, I just want to help somebody else, then I take me out of the equation and then I get myself out there. And that's what I tell my audiences when I speak. I'm like, your business ain't about you. It's about you. It's about the people you're meant to serve. So get your butt out there and find people to serve. It's not about your comfort zone, and it's not about you.
Toni, you're really speaking to a major topic of mindset. Because in this short podcast, you've already reframed my mindset on two particular subjects that speak to mindset training and resetting.
Yeah, it is definitely, you got to have a drastic mindset. And that means, you know, I talk about Beyonce. We all know her. If you've ever seen her in an interview, she's super quiet and demure. You would not believe that that same person that's interviewing is on stage, but she has to flip a proverbial switch to be able to come out of character and do what she needs to do. And so it is a mindset. And so here's what I tell my clients, especially introverts: go into an event, meet 5 people, get 5 dates, and go home.
Ooh.
And then what you will find is introverts shut the place down. I've seen it. Because once they get in their groove, they're good. But I give them full permission, get 5 dates, go home. But it ain't about you. And those dates are not for sales. Those dates are for relationship building. Because really, I'm trying to get on the other side of Rebecca's, other side of Tracy. Who do they know? Will I sell them in the process? Probably. But really, I want them to open doors for me to their network, which is this logo here, right? It's
Yep.
That's what we're trying to do. Stop trying to sell. That's the other reason people are uncomfortable, because they're trying to sell.
Mhm.
Not the time to sell. It's the time to say, hi, how are you? Who are you? How can I help?
Oh my gosh, I had an experience, Toni, of that just a couple of weeks ago, where someone reached out due to an introduction. And I had hoped this would be a back and forth, get to know each other, see how we could help one another. And he went right into a sales pitch. So I slowed him down a little bit. Let's see how we can partner. Let's see how we can collaborate. Let's see how we can create this win. And he went right back to pitching and selling and pitching and selling. It wasn't long before I was like, this is a waste of my time. You don't know anything about me, anything about my business. And you're not really telling me a whole lot about you and your business. You're just telling me about this product that you're shoving down my throat. So the conversation to me was over within a few minutes. Had he taken some time, I think I would have bought what he was.
Okay, what company is he with? And introduce me so I can help him.
I can actually do that. Yes.
Because I have a client now, anytime she gets in a networking situation or one-to-one and they're selling her, she texts me, they need your coaching. I'm going to make an introduction.
Yeah, it's actually a very big company. And I know the leaders, so I can definitely make an introduction.
Well, and here's the other thing. When you're not doing this, you become desperate. You have sales goals to meet, your manager is on top of you. And so therefore you feel desperate to make a sale. And that's why you have to start implementing these strategies before you get to a desperate place.
Yeah.
Because when you get to a desperate place, that's what happens.
So,
I feel
it's
better
very-
already.
all right, tell us again how our listeners can get a hold of you.
Yeah, so if you would like to meet with me, it's meetwithtoniharristaylor.com. And that's my calendar page. And then if you want to see what I offer to franchises, go to franchise.drasticresults.com. And that'll give you some information about me. And if you want my free download, you can go to drasticnetworkingforfranchises.com.
Beautiful.
And LinkedIn, always just send me a message on LinkedIn. That's easy.
And LinkedIn, of course. Whatever. Toni, this has been an absolute delight. I'm walking away with a couple of areas in my life that I can work on, I should say, as it relates to my business, including the why question, which I haven't asked myself in a while. And I have noticed my passion waning, which is the time to reassess, right? Because
Yes.
when passion wanes, it's everything seems more exhausting, right? It's not
Yes.
bringing the pleasure. So time to reassess that why, and also to get better at this thing called networking. I'm an extrovert. That should be easy, but I'm out there. I'm gonna make a commitment to you that I'm gonna do a better job of that. So thank you so much.
Well, I'm looking forward to our date next week. I would like to see what Zoracle has to offer, because as I am networking and moving around the franchise space, I absolutely will refer you. And if any of you are looking to be a part of my Network in Action community or a leader, reach out to me as well, because it's actually a paid position. It's not volunteer. We actually do revenue share. So yeah, everybody wins in that. So.
Everybody wins. Tracy, I'm going to turn it over to you for your wrap up.
You know, I was sitting here thinking that, like COVID, during that time, many of us did become introverts. Even extroverts became very complacent, right? And I think often in our business, after a few years of doing things a certain way, again, we become complacent. So, Toni, I'm thinking, and in my heart, I'm feeling it, that you are a drastic complacency buster.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I love
Absolutely. And I live by example. I show by example. And what makes me unique too is I'm in the trenches with my clients.
Yeah.
So I'm like, let's go. Let's go. I'm going with you. Let's go.
Good for you. That's awesome. I'm so glad you were here today. You're very inspirational.
Thank
Right,
you,
Rebecca?
Tracy.
We're going to get out there, Rebecca, right?
We're going to get out there, girl.
I want to hear all the wins.
Thank you again, Toni. And thank you to those listening in today to the Franchise Woman podcast, where passion and purpose collide, profits are made, and relationships are forged. Make sure to share this video cast, this podcast, with anyone who needs to get better at building relationships, getting in touch with their purpose, and of course, like and comment on this also. So we'll see you next week on another episode.
Bye. Thank y'all so much. This was great.
And